One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. One, two, one, two, one, two. Yes, yes, yes. It's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. And how do you do? Okay, yeah. A bit later than a little bit later than I had anticipated. I don't even know if I want to do FaceTime. Do I want to do FaceTime? I want to remain anonymous today. Feel a spirit of anonymity. It's too late. I'm out there. I'm out there now. Okay. All right. Let me have a look what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? Okay. Sub Skrilla. Exhibit Eugene. Shola Ebofin. Toby Bartlett. We got the Don. What we crying about today? Don ZB quickly rivaling Kaz for the hold on a second. Quickly rivaling Kaz for the Troll Awards, the Troll of the Year Awards. Sub Skrilla. It will be the Philosopher's Minute at this rate. Sub Skrilla. Alleging that I'm only going to give you guys a minute. He lied to you. He lied to you. Okay, who else we got? Scott, 70. Everybody's in tears. Everybody's in tears. Hankies will be delivered to you. Just put your address in the chat. You'll get a free pack of, what do they call them? Handy Andes or whatever you call them things. Rue 504. Let's go, Rafi. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Lisa Bayliss. I'm hanging in there, John, on this beautiful day. John Daly. Sub Skrilla trying to set the agenda. Oh, I wanted to cook with with John and Rafi. Yeah, cook in the chat, mate. Cook in the chat. You got the ability to type it, yeah? Yeah. Lisa Bayliss. Okay, I'm scrolling on. Toby Bartlett. Tommy Temper. Tommy Temper's asking me if I need more fiber in my diet. No, I have a good amount of fiber. Actually, I have nothing today. I've been too busy. I will talk in later, of course. Not really hungry. Okay. This chat is hilarious. What's up, Raphael? Says Lisa Bayliss. I'm good, Lisa. I'm good. Who else we got in here? Get this smoke. Lake Craft, aka TBK the First, suggested I was having a moment in the privy. No, I was not, sir. I just arrived home. Tommy Temper's inquiring if Rafi's slacking. Absolutely out of the question. Rafi's doing multiple things. Rafi was busy. Okay, think I've got everybody. Red Glove Militant. 2-minute warning. Okay, where are we? Where are we? That's in Streamlabs. Let me have a look. Okay. Okay. Let me get some anonymity. Like them other boys do. I'll be back. Get more FaceTime later. Okay. Where are we? Okay, so let's do this. AD in the building. Hey, Linda. Hey, Linda. Okay. James Sutherland. What's on the agenda, Raf? AD says he's back from the dead. He has been resurrected. There's been a resurrection. Okay, so what's all this about? What is all this about? Okay, so yeah, I've been looking. This is the Philosopher's Hour. You know what I'm saying? So it's a mixture. It's not just straight boxing. It's let me just crack this window. It's warm up in this building. You crack a window. It's already cracked. I'm cracking some more. Uno momento. Mami, slow up your tempo. All right. Okay. So, yes, it's AD of TBV fame. Okay. So, let me introduce myself. First of all, everybody in here who's enjoying yourself, smash that like button, please. Okay. So, as I was explaining, first of all, let me say, this is the Philosopher's Hour 3. The Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. Okay. Don ZB comes in with an aggressive message, which I cannot permit. Kindly be a little bit more polite, Don ZB. A little bit more polite. Okay. So, as I was saying, it's the Philosopher's Hour with Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. And in the Philosopher's Hour, I talk about anything that's on my mind. Yeah? You saw the thumbnail. Okay. So, the topic is I woke up this morning, I was thinking about, well, there's multiple topics, but I was thinking about how jealousy is, indeed, John. Jealousy, I was thinking about jealousy, because jealousy in the boxing world has been a topic of late. It's been a topic. First of all, how are my levels? How are my levels? As a matter of fact, let me go into this thing. Should show me what my levels are like. Should show me what my levels. Okay, should be good. So, there's been the topic in the boxing world recently of jealousy, and not just recently, jealousy. Then it occurred to me, I had to ask myself, hold on a second, is jealousy a mental illness, a form of mental illness? Is jealousy a form of mental illness? And I had to ponder that. This is going to be in boxing. It's going to weave into boxing. It's going to weave out of boxing. It's going to weave into boxing. It's going to weave out of boxing. Let me turn the music up a little bit. Okay. So, yeah, we know about the Lennox Lewis statements about Anthony Joshua. And John Daly hits the nail on the head. This jealousy thing, I was pondering, how deep do I go? How deep do I go on it? Because it weaves into the boxing, and then it weaves into YouTube and my experiences as a YouTube uploader. See, it weaves into both, and I'm pondering, well, how deep do I go? How deep do I go? How deep do I go into this? Some revelations have come to me about the behavior of another guy who came up in here flapping his gums. And it only just occurred to me because sometimes I'm oblivious to certain things. I'm oblivious to certain things which, on reflection, when I think back, they're quite obvious. And I'm wondering, do I pick the scab or leave it alone? That is the question. Part of me saying, don't pick the scab. But another part of me saying, hey, you have to tackle this. You have to tackle this. You have to express your findings, your new revelations, the clarity. You have to address the clarity because, sometimes we just leave a situation alone and then all of a sudden it becomes very, very clear. Something that was partially confusing becomes very, very clear. People are telling me to pick it. Part of me is saying pick it, another part saying leave it alone. But another part of me, this part of me saying, well, you can't leave it alone because it hasn't been fully dealt with. It hasn't been fully dealt with. And even if I pick it today, it still ain't fully dealt with. It still ain't fully dealt with. So I feel like I just have to lay out on the table. I have to lay out on the table that which has been revealed to me by my inner consciousness. The inner consciousness has guided me to the light. It's guided me to the truth. And now I can see clearly certain things that were not so clear. Certain things that were not so clear now have become crystal clear to me. Crystal clear. Okay, so I was just doing some analytics, looking at the analytics and tidying up some things with the algorithms. It's in the back door of YouTube. Certain algorithms that you have to deal with, take care of, tidy up, make sure things are in line. And whilst doing so, certain things were revealed to me. Certain algorithm mistakes, certain things that I should have been typing in that I hadn't been typing in that would have helped the algorithms, helped the visibility. So that was another revelation, and one revelation led to another revelation. There's a bunch of revelations. So I think I'm going to pick it a little bit. Okay. So we're going to start off with the Joshua Lewis situation, and that's going to lead us nicely in to the real life situation, YouTube situation. Okay? Nothing critical, just observations, things which have been revealed to me by my own consciousness. Things have become clear. Okay, so, right, let's get into it. Okay, so, the Joshua Lewis situation. Okay, let's get into that. Okay, so, the other night, I was watching, I know some of you were in there, saw you, said hi. Hi, how you doing? I was watching Mr. Kurt DeVille chop up the Joshua Lewis situation. I, of course, had already done my video on it. I think many of you will have seen the video. First of all, big up Rue 504. Big up Rue 504. He said somebody mentioned that I had my own channel over there in TBV land. So I don't know who it was. If that person is present, could you please make yourself known? Because it's a very nice thing you did. Because as a result of whoever it was that mentioned that Rafi's got his own YouTube channel, it brought Rue 504 over here. He subscribed. So if that person is here in the chat, could you please make yourself known? Because it was a good thing. Now we have another guy. This channel was founded on my calling in to TBV. As a result of my calling into TBV, the boxing voice. Are you being serious, Don ZB? Don ZB said it was him. Are you? When did Don ZB? Don ZB, funny guy. Okay, let's go deeper. Let us go deeper. Also, don't forget what to say every 15 Tommy Temper reminded them. Well, I forgot myself. Hey, guys, if you're watching the show and you're enjoying the show, then I don't know, Don. Are you being serious? Are you being serious, Don ZB? I was watching, like I said, I had to go back and I was tidying up some algorithms, tidying up some things, some backroom things of YouTube, and I found myself watching the very second episode of Boxing Talk with Rafi. Toby Bartlett in the house, in the building. I found myself watching the very second episode of Boxing Talk with Rafi. And you know what was refreshing? I found it highly refreshing. Because I was just talking about whatever I wanted to talk about. Don ZB says it was H Money, aka Mr. Danz. I thought Mr. Danz had been banned. I thought Mr. H Money had gone what? What do you call that term? Had gone rogue. I thought H Money had gone rogue on Mr. Nescafe. I heard he'd gone rogue on Mr. Nescafe and called Mr. Nescafe a snitch. A snitch. That's what I heard. I heard he called him a snitch live on air. Of course, we all know about the case against Nescafe, but you know that's not really for me. That's not really for me to go into. But if it's true that Mr. H Money got on the mic and then called Nescafe a snitch, called Mr. Nescafe a snitch, then damn, that was a bold move. That was a bold move. That was a bold move. How come everybody turning on Nescafe say Shogun Boxing in the building? I don't know. I don't really go over there. Every now and then they'll have an interview by a big name or a name of interest, you know, and I might tune in, although I don't know they're having a big name interview because I don't go over there. I don't really go over there. Might pop in for a second every now and then. I pop in every now and then when I'm on my YouTube shizzle. But anyway. You know, I was looking at Boxing Talk with Rafi, and it reminded me that one of the beauty of that thing. The beauty of that thing was that it was the philosopher's hour. It was the philosopher's hour, really. It was just me talking about whatever was on my mind. I looked at that and it was so refreshing. I could have filmed it, I could have made it, I could have recorded it yesterday. It was so fresh. Rule 504 says he still loves TBV, not gonna hate on Ness or Mike. No. There's no hate. I'm not hating. I'm not hating. I don't hate because, as I said, it was because of TBV that it put a light under my ass. And for all the years when I said to myself, I should start a boxing channel on YouTube. for all those years when I hadn't done it. You know, getting on TBV as a caller, then getting invited on as a host when, what's that guy's name? Ron? Is he Ron? Not Ron. The English guy. What's that? Rob. Is he Rob? UK Rob. Yeah. Yeah, UK Rob. When UK Rob left, they asked me to come on in. They asked me to come on in. Invited me. They said, come on, Raph, we'll pay you. As soon as they said we'll pay you, I thought, damn, I didn't know they paid people. But then as soon as they said we'll pay you, I thought, hold on a sec. That means they want me full time. No. I work for myself. Yeah, I'm self-employed over here. So that's not going to work. But anyway, I'm not going to get too deep into that. But anyway, so long story short, it's because of YouTube. It's because of TBV. Yeah, I know he's on Mixed Combat Radio with Matt now. I went over there a few times. They didn't acknowledge me. Went over there a few times when they opened up. They didn't acknowledge me. It's like they got no love for the Rafi. It's like the Rafi, I don't know. It's like the Rafi did them wrong. I don't know. I don't remember doing them wrong. But it's like they're carrying feelings for the Rafi. That's the impression that I got. But anyway, so yeah. So I wouldn't hate on them because it was TBV that gave me my start. And when Nescafe started playing games with the links, sometimes sending the links, sometimes not sending the links, sometimes I'd taken time off my own work to get back to do their stuff with them, and no link came through. So now that's impacting on me financially. Yeah, so, you know, Rafi couldn't have that. So then one day, one evening, one afternoon, you know, the Nescafe started talking crap about the Rafi. Respect rule 504. The Nescafe started talking crap about the Rafi. You know how them boys over there like to do with the Rafi? Like to talk. I put 1 part truth in, 3 part bullshit. Pardon my expression. So, boom. The Rafi had to jump in. But for the full details, you're going to have to go and check out why I left TBV part 1. I've already done part 2. It's probably time that I upload that shizzle. Already done part 2. Maybe it's time to upload part 2. Is it time to upload part 2? You tell me. Shogun Boxing says, I remember that day, Raph. You stuck it on him still. Well, that's part of that is, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that's part of the video why I left TBV part 1. I don't know if that conversation's part of that video. I can't remember. I haven't watched that video. I haven't watched that video for 5 months. The channel is about 6 months old. 6 months old. Yeah. Tommy Temper says it's part 2 is long overdue. Ringside reporter, the Beeb is in the building. I like Beeb. He attacks me. He attacks me when I disagree with him. But I don't take it personally at all. You know, I think the Beeb is a cool dude himself. No malice whatsoever. I know, I sense that. You just get defensive and you start swinging. But yeah, I've come to realize there's no malice. There's no malice in your heart. You're just trying to defend yourself. I understand that. You feel like you're being attacked, even though I'm not attacking you. And you just wanna defend yourself, you know. But you see, I'll tell you another reason why I respect Beeb is because you have other big channels. Okay, we're going back into it now. You see, we're weaving in and out. We're weaving in and out. You have other big channels who listen. I know they listen. I know they listen. You see, Beeb is honest enough. Listen, the man says the man is printed in black and white that I fly off the handle. He flies off the handle. You see, that's honesty. Sometimes, how can you not respect honesty? The man is honest. When he comes on here and we talk reasonably and rationally. The other day I was over there and he was with another guy and it was a 100% rational conversation, zero emotion. Zero emotion. Yo, Beeb, you want to come on and chop it up for a few minutes? You want me to send you a link so you can come on and chop it up for a few minutes? I was going to do this thing but if you're just chilling and listening, that's cool as well. I was going to do this thing solo dolo, going back to the old days, going back to the original days, going back to the early boxing talks with Rafi. But if you want to come on and chop it up for a few minutes, we're talking about jealousy. I'm talking about jealousy. You know? Okay. Let me just send you the link. We're just talking. Invite. Copy to clipboard. Let me take you through this process. And we don't have to limit what we're talking about. Ringside Reporter, let me go over to Hangouts and pass it to you via Hangouts. Where are you? There you are. There you are. Paste and boom. Send. So, where was I? I lost my train of thought. Let me go back in the chat, see what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, TBV, the little light under my ass. Yeah, man, I've got it. I've sent it. I've sent it via Hangouts. You want me to send it to you? Sent it to you via Hangouts. Or am I on YouTube or am I could send it to you there as well. I could send it to you there as well. Where is this thing? Gmail? There I am. There we are. Yeah. Where are we? Where's that thing I just saw? Where's that thing? Oh, there it is. We copy that. Boom. 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 Let me search this thing. Yeah. I see you. So let me just copy that link. Boom, boom, boom. Copy. Reply. Paste. Send. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Yeah. So, where are we? Okay. So, yeah. So they gave me my start. They lit a fire under my ass. And like I say, if anybody's wondering what I'm talking about, I'm just doing it like I used to do. I just talk about what's going on in my head. Anybody who likes it, stay. Anybody who doesn't like it, obviously, salute. Sayonara. Ciao. That's okay. But I will be, not that I've gotten away from myself, but I will stay true to myself. I'll stay true to myself. Sometimes we've had people who come in here. Oh, Beeb's doing FaceTime. If Beeb does FaceTime, I have to do FaceTime too. Beeb, how do you do?
I'm doing really good, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm just here chopping it up, kind of reminiscing with the guys about how this this chisel started for me. You know,
I
and I was,
never knew that. I never knew that's how you started. I didn't
oh,
know that.
you didn't know that.
No, did not know.
Yeah, man, I was on TB. Well, I was on TBV as a caller, and then one guy left, the English Rob, UK Rob, and then I've been calling in. You know, a lot of response, a lot of positive response from the UK, a lot of hate from the USA.
Yeah,
I'm,
this thing is getting out of control with the division. I'm seeing a lot of back and forth, but I don't know, man. It just seems like it's a game of control right now. I think it's just about trying to just I think it's bigger than the fighters. I think it's the teams that are actually trying to jockey for position here. No one wants to lose control of this heavyweight division. I think both sides realize if they lose control of this heavyweight division, that's a big blow to PBC and Matchroom. You know, both sides are, I think, are trying to make power plays here. It was almost like with the Pacquiao Mayweather thing, how we got roped into believing that this guy didn't want to fight that guy, and what it really was it was all about power. I think at the end of the day, it's like the song says. It says money, power, respect, but I think in boxing it's I think it's power, money, and respect. I think power comes first.
yeah,
You know, because then once you have the power, then you can kind of control the money.
yeah.
And I think that's what this is all about. And it seems as though Ruiz is getting certain things, but the problem is I'm starting to ask myself: the more things he gets, will he keep throwing something else up that he wants? Because you know the Saudi Arabia thing. Not too concerned about that, but a lot of other people are.
Yeah.
And Frank Warren, even though he is very, very biased against Matchroom, he did make a good point because of the relations between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. How would a judge look at that if, given the recent incidents? I know that, the flip side of that is that, Eddie Hearn could say, well, Americans have gone over there, they performed, the WWE's gone over there, performed. That was one isolated incident. So there's a lot of other incidents that have happened that kind of can go against, his concerns. So there's an argument on both sides, and I'm not sure if this thing will play out where it goes to litigation or not. But I'm just curious to see, what ends up happening. I mean, I know people are mad at Ruiz. They think that he's holding out, which he is holding out. But
how is it like in the USA? Are people mad at him in the USA as well?
Well, you got to
tell me the truth, B. Please. Let's just be totally honest and transparent.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think there's enough people. Like I go by YouTube because unfortunately there's not a ton of people that are outside of the YouTube and the hardcore fans that are really up on this.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to, but the YouTube people, there's a great deal of United States people that are angry with Ruiz. You got the Ring IQ. You got Kurt DeVille.
Yep.
And there's I think Casual Boxing Talk. So I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's probably maybe 45% are against Ruiz right now.
Okay.
But that's kind of a lot considering he's from America.
Yeah.
I understand what he's doing, and seems to be working.
Steve, let me be honest with you. I'm gonna let you come back in immediately, but let me be honest with you. I think even you who was riding for Ruiz hardcore, even you, I sense a shift, my friend.
Little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think it's about the fight anymore. I think it's about Al Heyman not wanting to lose control of this heavyweight division.
Yeah.
And Ring IQ basically said a lot of, alluded to that. And I want to give him credit because I got to be honest with you. I can be reasoned with.
Yeah,
I have my beliefs, and if someone presents a good case to me,
yeah.
I'll listen. And I understand what Ruiz is doing, and to some degree, it's working because he is getting some things in his favor.
Some concessions.
Some concessions are being made, but at the end of the day, is he going to continuously throw concessions? Not concessions, excuse me. Is he going to continue to throw demands up there?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That was my concern. I think I said it on your show. I know I've said it over here. I think I said it. I've said it multiple times. Certainly over here and over there.
And I don't. And once again, I got to give credit to Ring IQ because I don't like to say things and pass them off as my own.
Yeah.
There was things that he said in his video that I agreed with, and certain things I disagreed with.
However,
the thing was he was saying people that were critical of Hearn and Josh. Well, I wasn't really critical of Josh, but people that were critical of Hearn and the way he does business. In other words, people that thought Ruiz should have got more money and all this stuff. I think he was lumping everyone into one group, saying that people who are critical of the contract or the clauses or whatever didn't want to see the fight. I mean, there's no way I'm not going to watch the fight. I'm a DAZN subscriber, so it's not. If I'm going to pay for fights like Roy Jones versus Bobby Gunn and Paulie Malignaggi versus what's that guy there? Lobov. If I'm going to pay for those type of pay-per-views, of course I'm going to watch a fight of that magnitude. So that was the one thing I disagree with him about, like because I did have some problems with the contract, and my only concern is if you keep making contracts that are so one-sided like that, how are the big fights going to get made? And that's why a lot of some of these other fighters didn't, like Pulev and even White, who's in the Matchroom stable to some degree, even though he's on a fight to fight. This is why some of those fights don't get made because of these these one-sided contracts. But there was some wiggle room. I mean, Hearn did allow some wiggle room for Ruiz, and it seems as though now he wants to like this is the problem. Like on Joe Rogan, he said that we're going to a neutral site, and he said that I'm going to give you tickets to the fight. So it seemed like on the Joe Rogan show he was cool with the neutral site.
Yeah.
Now he's not. So obviously somebody's in his ear.
Yeah.
I think somebody's in his ear.
Yep.
Probably Heyman or someone from his team.
I said that on your show. I said that on your show.
And this is what Ring IQ said, and I agree. This is why Ring IQ. I got to give him credit. He made some good points, and he kind of shifted my opinion a little bit.
Which is nothing's wrong with your opinion shifting. It just means you're honest enough with yourself.
Yeah, because
to be truthful with yourself.
Because I'm hearing that this is what I'm also hearing, that they kicked Ruiz a little bit more money. That's what I'm hearing. I heard he got kicked a little bit more money.
Which can be a good or a bad thing. Because a contract's a contract. You only sign a contract which you agree with. But carry on.
Yeah.
It sets a bad precedent when you start kicking people more money.
But the
next guy that comes along is going to say, "Yeah, I'll sign this contract, but I don't really mean it." When it comes down to it, then.
Well, hopefully the next time a situation like this arises, the contract's a little bit more
equitable,
reasonable, so we don't get to this point. This is a teaching moment for I think both sides.
But let me come in there, Beeb. Let me come in there just for a second. I like to let people speak and express themselves. I'm here all the time, but guests only come every now and then, so I like to give them ample time to express their positions. But let me come in for a second.
Sure.
Who was complaining when Klitschko was making 15, 20 million, giving his opponent 1 mil?
Yeah.
Who was complaining about that?
Well, it's the same thing with Mayweather, when Mayweather was making 33 million and giving Maidana 2 million. So
let's be fair. In comparison to those contracts, a Klitschko contract, in comparison to a Mayweather contract, this deal was very generous.
But here's the thing. That was when Klitschko was champion. So
Yeah.
when Klitschko lost the title
Mm.
and then he went and fought Joshua,
Yeah.
that was 50-50.
That was a 50-50, but the deal was coming from the Joshua side.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying Joshua wasn't supposed to have parity here. There's no question about Joshua was going to have parity.
Mm.
My whole thing was I don't like these contracts where you say this is going to be your guaranteed amount for the rematch because more often than not, the rematch is bigger than the first fight. It
Yeah.
garners more interest, so the pot becomes larger.
Well,
So
let me stop you there. I think statistically, the rematch oftentimes isn't bigger than the first fight.
it depends on how the first fight ends.
Yeah,
And
yeah. In this
so,
case,
so
in this case, it will be.
yeah. So in
Mm.
certain cases, especially when an upset, everybody wants to see that rematch.
Yeah,
So I have no problem with Hearn saying, okay, 70-30, maybe 65-35, whatever. But
yeah.
I just thought that if that $9 million, see, I don't even know if that not. This is another thing that we don't know if that $9 million is 100% accurate. If that was what was agreed upon. Some
The
people are
one.
saying 9, some people are saying 10, some people are saying 11. So that's
Okay.
the problem. That's the problem because there's like three figures floating around. So 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah.
So Joshua, was supposed to get like 31, 32, and then Ruiz get 9 or whatever. Now, if Joshua got 25 and then Ruiz maybe got 13 or 14, I think that's a little better, But without question, even with the loss, Joshua's definitely he's still the man. I mean, and he's still the worldwide. Like the Saudis are gonna, they brought Joshua. That Joshua was the selling point for them to want to stage this fight. With all due respect to Ruiz, we know that. I mean, we got to be real about that. Joshua still has a name. Like the thing about the UK fans is, when you guys ride with someone, you ride with someone. Like Frank Bruno and Ricky Hatton used to lose multiple times,
Yeah.
but each and every time they lost and they had another fight and they came over the United States, the UK fans would still travel and want to see the fight. They would still stay up to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and watch fight. We're not like that. I mean, I'm pretty loyal to boxers. But most American fans, once you lose, they trash you. You were overrated. You were overrated. You were hyped. Whatever. So I think it's hard for us to understand sometimes. A lot of us to understand basically how the UK fans are because we're so much different, and that's where I think the problem, that's where I think sometimes the conflict lies because just the different perspectives from both sides. Like, when you guys ride with someone, you ride with somebody. Like, Joshua could lose again. He'd probably lose 2 more times, and he would still be beloved over there.
Well,
Now, I don't know.
I
I
remember
don't know.
I remember 1 second. I remember back in the day. I'll let you back in a second. I remember back in the day when I used to go to concerts. Music. Music artists, American artists. American artists would come over here, and if they hadn't had a hit in 6 months, let's say, or a year, let's say the Americans, just our own people, forget about us. But you over UK, Europe, they can travel the world outside of the UK, and they're still popping to us. But it's about what have you done for me lately with artists, boxers, sportsmen, whatever in America. It's got to be now. What are you doing for me now? Well, I don't care about your last hit 12 months ago. It's what you're doing for me now. We just appreciate who we appreciate. And it doesn't matter wins and losses. It doesn't really matter too much. Wins and losses is just a part of the game.
Because most people, and even now, I think Joshua himself is starting to say that first fight was a fluke. And unfortunately, Ruiz is going to have to. That's the onus is on Ruiz to really prove that the fight wasn't a fluke.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a lot of the UK people, fans' perception, they're thinking that he just got hit on that temple. Right time, right spot, right place, right time, and that took him out of the fight. And if he doesn't land that shot in the second fight, then he's going to lose. So I'm going back and forth on this because my initial thing was I was concerned about Ruiz falling victim to the Buster Douglas syndrome because I see him spending all partying, spending his money. Is he focused, whatever? But then I hear Joshua coming out and saying a lot of things, and I'm trying to figure out where he's at mentally because I'm not understanding a lot of stuff that's coming out of his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, and I don't like the fact he looks kind of like he's losing a little bit too much weight. I'm concerned about that too. So now that we're in Saudi, Ruiz has traveled to New Zealand. He fought in Macau twice, but this is kind of a little bit different.
Yeah.
So even though this is considered neutral, I think Joshua's been to this part of the world more, and he's probably better connected than Ruiz is over there. So it is neutral technically, but I think this still favors Joshua a little bit because I think he's considered a friendly face over there, whereas no one really knows who Ruiz is over there.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of bothering Ruiz a little bit now, and it's making him think twice because at first he probably said this is neutral, but then he's kind of now people are trying probably saying Joshua's got to be spends a lot of time over in the Middle East. He's vacations there a lot, blah blah blah. There's videos of him vacationing there, training there a little bit, hitting pads and stuff. So Ruiz probably got a hold of that footage, and now he's probably someone's in his ear saying, what, this really isn't neutral. This is still in his favor. So we got to get it back to the United States. My whole thing is if he really wanted to make it neutral, I thought Canada would have been a good spot, but that's just my opinion. But
well, technically speaking, Wales, Cardiff is in Wales. That's a separate country with their own language, don't you?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, the way the UK is what is it? It's Northern Ireland part of the UK, but the other
you got Northern Ireland. Tommy Temper come in. You got Northern Ireland, obviously the north of Ireland. You got Ireland. You got Scotland, which is north of England. Then to the the west of England, you have Wales. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 countries. There's 5 countries in the UK.
Somebody told me certain parts of Ireland are not part of the UK. Is that correct?
That's correct. That is correct. I think that's. But Tommy, come in. You're the Irishman. You come in as an Irishman. Or John Dealey, I think as well. There's I think Northern Ireland is not part of the UK, or Southern Ireland is not part, but one of them is not part of the UK. It's a total separate entity. Nobody's coming to clarify for me, but I'll come in on what you said. You see, let's not beat around the bush. Let's not beat around the bush here. We know from the beginning that Ruiz wanted this thing in America. Or the Americas, whether that be America itself or whether that be or whether that be in Mexico. So we know for sure that Ruiz wanted it in the Americas. And then we talk about fairness and equity and what have you, but where is the fairness in Joshua having to go back to the Americas for the rematch? I don't hear you Americans, a lot of you Americans crying out, no. He had it in America, now let's have it in the UK. So we're talking about you want fairness in the purses, but what about fairness in the locations? Because if he had it in the America, surely the fair thing would have been to have it in the UK next.
I mean, that's a fair point, I guess. But the thing was Joshua originally said he wanted to go back to New York because he wanted to prove that he could right the wrong where it occurred.
Yeah, we say a lot of things, though. And he never actually released that to the press. It was Eddie Hearn who said that, speaking privately to Joshua. He even said, because I never accepted that, because the wording was that Joshua's even saying, let's have it back in Madison Square Garden. So that was that was kind of ridiculous to many people. To me, I never accepted that for a second because it doesn't make sense. Why would you have two choices in your life, Beeb. The same as us all. Same with all of us. You have 2 choices in your life. In every decision you make, you have 2 choices. Play to your strengths or play to your weaknesses. Who in their right mind is going to play to their weaknesses?
Yeah, but the problem is the goal was to come over and conquer America.
Yes.
So are you going to abandon that goal? Are you going to not do that?
Can he not go back at a later date?
He can, but what it makes it look like is, it makes it look like he can't win over here.
But can he not go back at a later date and dispel that?
Honestly, he can, but if it was me, I would have came right back to New York, because the thing is,
you play to your weakness. You play to your weakness instead of your strength.
I don't want that to be perceived as my weakness. I want to prove to people that that's not my weakness. That I can.
Sorry, let me just say this. Lennox Lewis lost in South Africa to Hasim Rahman. He didn't rematch in South Africa.
No.
So it's kind of irrelevant in a sense when you think about it. Nobody looks back. Name me one person, show me one article that goes, aha. Lennox Lewis, he beat Rahman, but he didn't beat him in the place where Rahman beat him.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. In the fullness of time, it's irrelevant.
But I guess that was because neither man was. That was actually a neutral ground, And then he went back and he fought in America. So that was to Rockman's favor, So
yeah, in a sense. But what I'm saying to you, Beeb, in the fullness of time, nobody gives a rat's ass where Lennox Lewis beat Rahman.
No.
Nobody gives a rat's ass. Where did he lose? He lost to Oliver McCall in Wembley, the UK.
Yeah.
And he beat him over in the USA.
Yeah.
And nobody gives a rat's ass. Nobody says, he lost at Wembley, but he didn't redeem himself in Wembley. So what I'm saying to you, Beeb, is that history shows us clearly and categorically that nobody gives a rat's ass where you redeem your loss.
I don't know.
In the fullness of time, who's ever quibbled about where somebody redeemed their loss?
Well, the thing was every time a UK fighter did come over here, they would fight a couple fights here before they went back to the UK, because they wanted to make a name for themselves over in the United States.
Yeah.
And I think the United States is a huge market. Still I believe, history can back me up on this, that's where the most money is in the United States, and a lot of people don't want to agree with that, but it's the truth. Eddie Hearn has said it himself. That's why all of his cards of all of his fighters now are fighting in the United States. He even said that the fight would have been bigger in New York, and he even said people are trying to say that Saudi outbid everybody. They really didn't, because Eddie Hearn said that they weren't the biggest offer. So it's clearly not about the money per se. It's about the future, because Eddie Hearn is looking down the road, because all the other huge paydays go out the window if Joshua can't get the belts back. So he's, looking at the long game here. And I understand what they're doing. And I get the strategy. But I just would love to have seen him come back to New York, just to say, you know what? My goal was to make a name for myself over here. I was supposed to make a big splash over here. Let me finish what I started.
Right.
Let me finish what I started. That's the whole thing. It just looks like when you fall off, when you're learning to ride the bike, you fall off the bike. Do you get back up on the bike, or do you throw the training wheels back on? And I know we're in a disagreement here, but it looks like they're throwing the training wheels back on this.
But, okay, let me come in there. Beeb, have you ever had a project where you thought, you know what, I'm going to have to abort this project right now. I'm going to have to get stabilized, use a stabilizer. I'm going to have to get stabilized, and I'll come back to this project and finish it.
You know what? I'm going to give you another dose of honesty right here on the show that I really don't want to do, but I'm going to do it. Arian, the things that I started in my life that I quit.
Right.
And now I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to learn how to play the guitar when I was really young. And I started taking lessons. And when I was young, I thought it was too difficult, and I got frustrated with it, and I just stopped taking guitar lessons. And sometimes to this day, when I see someone on stage doing a guitar solo, I say to myself, "Damn, I wish." Like I envision myself like playing that guitar solo. What if I stuck with it?
Yeah.
I got an associate's degree, but I never went and got a bachelor's.
Right.
And I regret that. When I boxed novice, and I was okay, but I wasn't great. But I said to myself, I would like to at least have one open class fight, even win, lose, or draw. I just want to have one open. I never did.
Mm-hmm.
So things that I gave up on, sometimes even to I mean, it doesn't
It doesn't tear you up.
It doesn't really dominate my mind, and it doesn't hurt me to the point like I'm over it. But a part of me goes back and thinks, I wish I because my mentality is different now. Like now, I don't quit anything because I just have a different outlook right now because I have more confidence in myself, and I say to myself, because my whole thing in life was I was very impatient, and when things didn't happen fast, and I didn't get quick results, and this is how when we're young, we don't understand the process of things, and we put the cart before the horse. So a lot of times when I quit doing things is because I didn't have the patience to stick with it, and I didn't want to put the time in. Now I have no problem putting the time in because the only thing I compete against now, I'm not really out there competing against anything but time. And now that I realize that, everything takes time. So now I look back on those things and I say to myself, I wish I stuck with them. So so my mentality is now, you start something, try to finish it. At least give it every ounce of effort you have. At least you can say, well, I tried to get this done instead of quitting before I even tried.
Okay.
That's just the way I look at this situation. I think they had a goal, and now they abandoned the goal. Now again, they can go back to the goal, but I don't know. It just seems like
Have you ever heard the expression "nothing before the time"? I don't know if it might be a Caribbean. It might be a Caribbean expression. But there's a Caribbean expression: "nothing before the time." Now, for me to break that down, how that works is sometimes you try something and it's just not the right time.
Yeah,
Not the right
I get that too. Yeah,
and then you put that on layaway. You go elsewhere. You pursue a different direction, and then lo and behold, at a later point in time, what you're doing now, there is a synergy between what you're doing now and the thing that you put aside. And then when you come back to the thing that you put aside, you're actually more equipped. You're better equipped to deal with the thing that you put aside. More experience, more knowledge, perhaps in different areas, and you come back better than you left. Nothing before the time. Sometimes it's just not the right time. Sometimes you're just not in the right frame of mind for a particular task at that time. You put it down. It's common in studying. Sometimes you have a paper and you just can't get your head around it. You put that paper down, pick up another paper, you fly with that paper, come back to the paper which seems so difficult at the time, and you fly through that one too.
I got you.
So nothing before the time. Sometimes it's just best to put one thing down, carry on with another thing, and then come back to the original thing at a later date.
And another thing to look at too is Joshua only had about like 22 or is it 23 fights.
Your sound has gone a bit squirrely. Your sound quality.
My sound quality?
Sound quality, you sound muffled now, somehow.
Let me see what happened here.
You might just have
maybe I can change. Let me change my earpiece here.
No, you sound good again now. Maybe maybe it was distance. Maybe it was the distance of the thing because you sound good again now. I don't know.
Let me see if I can fix this with the headphones.
Yeah. Well, you sound good again now, but I'll just continue while you fix up. So, yeah. Sometimes you just have to put one project. Sometimes you just have to put one project to one side. Carry on with your greater goal, and then
Is my sound better now?
yeah, you sound real clear now. Real clear
All right,
now.
awesome. I think there was something wrong with my other
Yeah.
earpiece.
And sometimes you just put one thing to one side, carry on with your overall goal, and then come back to the thing that you put aside better and more equipped, either physically, mentally, or both. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with putting something to one side and coming back to it later, so long as you're still carrying on with your overall goal. And so there is no shame in Joshua not going back to America immediately. Rather, you could say there is more shame on Ruiz's part. There's a strong argument to say there's more shame on Ruiz's part for not returning the favor and coming to the UK. So I say before anybody criticizes Joshua for not going back to the UK, to the USA immediately, how about you criticize Ruiz for not coming at all? At least Joshua went to the US once. Ruiz hasn't come to the UK at all.
But do you think because of that Dillian White situation that's gonna?
No, I don't, because Ruiz was already saying that before the Dillian White situation.
No, but what my question was going to be: do you think a lot of other fighters are going to look at that and be wary of coming to the UK because of that Dillian White situation?
Let's talk about that because UCAD found an adverse finding with Dillian White, whereas your USA agency, VADA, did not. So in a sense, they could say, you could look at it a different way and say, well, actually, the UK found a discrepancy, whereas our American VADA did not. So even though the fight went ahead, at least there was still a discrepancy as we know it now. At least a discrepancy was brought up. If there was any considerable advantage, if UCAD thought there was any considerable advantage to be gained by Dillian White, then surely they would have not allowed the fight to continue. Otherwise, they would open themselves up for litigation from the, what's his name? Oscar Rivas side. So when it all comes out in the wash, in the fullness of time, I think the UCAD position will be fine. There won't be a position where they have opened themselves up to litigation by saying, hey, whatever was in his system gave him a sizable, considerable advantage over Oscar Rivas. It won't be that way because otherwise they would open themselves up to litigation. So American fighters can say, hey, well, UCAD found something where our own VADA did not. So you can argue that two different ways.
But you think that was just a timing thing because they're testing at different times. So,
well, apparently the timing wasn't that much. There wasn't much difference in the timing.
Because VADA tested him after the fight and he passed.
No. But there was also a VADA test, allegedly very close to the UCAD test.
Yeah.
So it was very close. Some are alleging it was a matter of, if not the same day, a day after or a day before, something very, very in such a way where we now have this situation of how could it be when the tests were so close together.
And Eddie Hearn is denying that it was Dianabol, the substance, because that was what was reported. And now there's reports that wasn't. They're saying it wasn't Dianabol. So
wow.
So I don't know. I just wish that we could get more information on this. That's the thing, because you guys made a good point the last time we talked about it. Because the Marcellus thing, was a recreational drug.
Recreational.
So was this the case with this?
There we go. That's a good question. Let me just get into the chat for 1 second, Beeb.
Sure.
let me get into the chat for 1 second. Raf, there was supposed to be a VADA test before and after the wow. So allegedly there was a VADA test before and after the UCAD test.
Yeah.
Allegedly. So you can see why they're letting fight, because there seems to be so much doubt about this. How there's disparity somewhere. There's a disparity somewhere.
Yeah.
Let me just read a few of these comments. Let me go over it in YouTube. It seems easier. No, it's not. Smaller print. Uh-oh. I'm gone way out. Too many windows open. DK De Django says, regardless of the amount found, any presence is counted as a violation. Okay.
But we don't know what the substance is.
We don't know what the substance is. We don't know what the substance is.
And I wish they would. And you know what's funny too, Raph, because again, you know, you guys made a great argument last time out when Marcellus I was about to call him Marcellus Wallace. When Marcellus Wilder failed his test, they didn't tell us right away what the substance was either.
Wow. Well, they still haven't. We still don't know. We just know that it's allegedly not a PED, but we don't know. It's never been confirmed what the substance was.
It wasn't marijuana, or they didn't say.
They have never confirmed what the substance is.
Yeah, so you know, we gotta be objective here, and we gotta look at that case too. And you know, this guy was criticized. He was ridiculed for, you know, failing a PED test, but it wasn't really a PED. It was a recreational drug.
It was a recreational drug. Let me just go into a couple of these comments.
And we didn't know what it was, and because it took us 2 months to, you know, for us to, you know what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Brooklyn Child Boxing is asking me repeatedly, Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, can I get a link? Not today, my friend. Not today. I wasn't gonna have any people on. It's just that Beeb came into the chat. And, you know, I thought, let me talk to Beeb. Otherwise, it was really a monologue. But since Beeb, we don't get the chance to speak very often. You can come here every day, my friend. But Beeb, he's got his own show. We don't get the opportunity to chat like this very often. So, boom, I had to get Beeb in to spit some lyrics for the UK. You know, spit some lyrics for the UK. His point of view in a calm environment, because over there sometimes, Beeb, it's like a pressure cooker over at your place.
Yeah,
it's like a pressure cooker over at your
place. Because
yourself, so you're just swinging.
That's because
you're in the middle of a brawl and you're trying to knock out your own friend. He's trying to help you, and you're swinging. You don't know you're giving your friend a black eye, my friend.
That's because that chat gets me fired up when I'm doing the show.
Yeah,
they say some crazy shit in that chat, and I get triggered sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
they say crazy shit in that chat, and then sometimes what happens is I get fired up with them.
Yeah,
and then it just puts me in a friggin' feisty mood.
Of course, it puts you in a frame of mind. You're a little bit like BFTB like that, because he gets fired up and he's just shooting.
I love that guy though. I like that guy though.
You like that guy? Well, you know, I got videos of our encounters on this channel. You didn't know that?
No. Why? Have you ever talked to him?
I've got a list of videos where we've tried to cut each other's throats.
Yeah. See, him and I agree a lot, so that's why we don't.
Yeah. Well, you're the same side of the fence, so you're okay. But I'm on the opposite side of the fence, so he tries to cut my throat on sight. And I record that shizzle, and it's on here. I'm going to do a playlist. For people so they can just come and they can see Rafi versus BFTB. It's going to be a whole playlist.
Then EJ Boxing Live, like he's cool too, but sometimes I go on there.
Yeah.
And he tries to instigate shit sometimes.
Oh.
He's a cool dude, but he likes drama. That good.
He's over here. He was over here the other day. Where are we? Saturday. He was over here Wednesday. He was in the live chat on Wednesday. I sent you a link.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't know.
I sent you a link. Yeah. So yeah, man. So Beeb, you just go in there swinging sometimes, and sometimes you catch your friend in the eye. You catch your friend in the eye. But as far as this AJ Ruiz thing's concerned, because my position on this is that Ruiz is acting like a prima donna. Klitschko deals, they were far more egregious. The disparity was far greater. Floyd Mayweather deals, the disparity in pay was far greater in relation and relative to those deals. You know, this is a honey deal for Ruiz. It's a beautiful deal. It's 5 million for the first fight. I think it's 9 million for the second fight. That man is set for life. He's set for life. But he's acting like my view is he's acting like a prima donna. You know, I got some videos up. We're talking about he's cupping the balls of a bull, and he's saying these are Mexican balls. But now it looks like he's got chicken balls. To be fair, looks like he's working with chicken balls. You know, what I call it Mexican chicken. Mexican chicken. It looks like we're dealing with Mexican chicken. He's not doing himself any favors whatsoever. Even your own American compatriots are saying, hold on now. Hold on. You're getting 9 million. It's not like you're getting chump change. You're getting 9 million. That's life-changing money on top of the life-changing money you've had. You've got 2 sets of life-changing money. The fact that you're champion, yeah, I can see your point. You want some more. I can see your point. Everybody can see the point, but you signed a contract. It sets a bad precedent when people start signing contracts on the basis, now we'll negotiate proper later. I'm going to hold you over a barrel. It's blackmail. He's guilty of blackmail. How can anyone find blackmail admirable? Blackmail is not good. Blackmail is bad. I don't know why the term blackmail came about. It's probably wrong, but whatever. It's almost fraudulent. If you sign a contract with the belief that you're not going to follow it through, that's kind of fraudulent behavior. It's not admirable. It's not admirable.
I think it's playing the game, because I told you that Sugar Ray Robinson used to do it the day of the fight.
I know about Sugar Ray Robinson. He was not very scrupulous when it came to deals. He was unscrupulous when it came.
He would tell the promoter, because he would find out like there's foreign television or something, and he wasn't getting a piece of it, and then he would tell the promoter, hey, you don't give me $10,000 more, I'm not fighting. The day of the fight, he would be doing stuff like that. You know, the thing is this: a fighter is always going to try and get what he can get. You know, people are always going to try and look for wiggle room in any situation. That's the nature of the beast. I know people want to make this about honor. They want to make this about, ethics. But at the end of the day, you got to look at what we're dealing with here. We got to look at this sport. And honestly, when you're dealing with a sport that is just so shady, it's just has so much negativity and such a dark cloud hanging over it, and the types of people in this sport who many of them just aren't honorable anyway. So how could you be honorable when you're dealing with dishonorable people anyways? It's like, if you get hit low, do you hit the guy back low?
Has Ruiz been hit low? Been hit low?
I think he feels as though, he signed the contract because he had no choice, because he really wanted to fight. And then he said to himself, I'm going to figure this out later. And then he said to himself, look at the way I won. Even he didn't probably think he would win in such impressive fashion. So I like I said, what I said before is I just think he wants to be rewarded a little bit. But now I don't even know if it's that anymore, because
it's one thing after the other.
It's one thing after the other now. And
I appreciate your honesty on that, because it's you see, if you refuse to acknowledge that would make you look bad, because it's plain for the blind man to see that it's one thing after the other. It's plain for the blind man to see that everybody, tell me I'm lying, everybody has the question in their heart. We're talking about honesty. Everybody has the question in their heart now. Does Ruiz actually want this rematch?
I don't think Al Heyman wants this rematch.
No.
I think they want Ruiz to fight Wilder. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't sit here and act stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sit here and act stupid, and I can't sit here and act naive, because now, because Ruiz, we can go on the Joe Rogan show
I never
And
watched it. But
we can hear Ruiz tell Joe Rogan, I know where the fight is going to be. I'm going to tell you where the fight is going to be, but you can't tell anybody. And he said it's on neutral. It's a neutral site.
okay.
And he said this is what he said to Joe Rogan. He said I'm going to get you some tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So at that particular time,
Mm-hmm.
it seemed as though he was on board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now someone had to have gotten in his ear from that time into now.
Yeah.
So similar, and again, I don't want to belabor the point, but similar to what Joshua did with the United States. I mean, these guys have a management team,
Yeah.
and they're going to be told certain things. And I told Eric this. We had a discussion about this. If you're paying a management team, I mean, what are you paying them for if you're not going to use them? You're not going to confide in them if you're not going to listen to them to some degree. Sometimes, there'd be instances where, like, for instance, Mikey Garcia was told, "Don't fight Errol Spence," but he went and did it anyways because he thought he could win.
Yeah.
But more often than not, these guys listen to their management team. So someone must have told Joshua, you know what? Why are we going to go over there if we don't have to? Why we? So someone probably sat down and told Ruiz, you know what? Let's wait this out a little bit. Maybe we can get a sweeter deal for ourselves, or at the very least, we could take this guy to court. Because I'm hearing a lot of crazy stuff, and it's all rumors, so I don't want to repeat any of it until I can clarify it. Because I like to get like 2 or 3 or 4 sources that are all in line with each other before I start saying something. And right now, I don't think I have that for some of these rumors, so I'm not even going to really saying them because I don't want to become a conspiracy theorist. But I'm hearing a lot of crazy shit that's going on behind the scenes right now. And if any of it is remotely true,
it's bad.
Then this is one effed up situation.
It's a effed up situation, Ruiz.
And it's getting worse by the day.
By the minute.
If these rumors are true.
It seems to me that Ruiz is getting further and further away from the fight, rather closer and closer.
Yeah. And this is the thing that kind of frustrates me a little bit too. Everyone's saying, well, Ruiz signed a contract. He has to fight. Eddie Hearn's in total control, whatever. But he doesn't have to fight. I mean, he can not fight and face the consequences of litigation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility that he may just not fight and have this thing go to litigation. I would not put that past their team. Everyone's sitting there saying, "Oh, well, he's spending all his money. He needs to do it." But again, we've seen fighters sit out before. Like, sometimes if your management team says, "You know what, we're gonna sit this one out. Trust me, we're gonna get a better. We're gonna make out in the end in this." If he's being told he's gonna make out in the end in this, then he's gonna roll the dice.
So what an ungrateful guy. The guy was acknowledged, well, by the people who knew, like myself, like yourself. I don't know what your prediction of the fight was, but my prediction, it's on tape. My prediction was that he was going to touch Joshua up. He's got fast hands. He was going to touch Joshua in the face. That's on tape. That's recorded. He was going to touch Joshua up. I was on there with some other guys that were saying Ruiz has got no chance. I said Joshua will win, but he is going to get touched repeatedly. I called it. He touched up. No, I didn't predict him losing. I didn't predict him winning. I didn't predict Ruiz winning, but I did predict he was going to touch Joshua up with those fast hands.
I'm not so sure in the second fight that it ends in a knockout. Everyone thinks it's going to end in a knockout. I'm not so sure.
It's going to be a different fight.
I think both guys know each other, and they may be a little bit more defensively responsible. They may, and if I think they're going to be a little bit more cautious. I think they're going to try to be a little bit more methodical in their approach. And
I don't think they're going to come out guns blazing this time. I definitely don't think Joshua's going to come out guns blazing this time. I could be wrong, but
No. I think Joshua is going to be far more defensively responsible. I think Joshua is going to fight the fight that we expected him to fight in the first place. Use his strengths, use his length, work behind the jab, move, slip and move, change the angles, boom, boom, boom. He's got to be changing angles. He's got to be on his toes. He's got to be moving. He can't make it. What he did last time was he made it easy for Ruiz. It could not have been an easier fight for Ruiz. Can you envisage Ruiz fighting Joshua so easily at any other time?
No, not like that.
Joshua could not have made that fight easier for Ruiz. He could not have done. Whereas he's standing, stood in the pocket, no clinching, no underhooks, no twisting him, turning him, and then catching him with getting the right underhook, twisting him to the left, catching him with the left, stepping back, changing the angles, boom, boom, double jab, step back, wait for Ruiz to come in, change the angle, right, left, left, right.
I don't think this is going to be an easy fight for either man.
No way.
The rematch. I think it's going to be a tough fight for both guys.
It's going to be a tough fight. But Joshua, could not have made it. Joshua literally handed him the belts twice before the fight, and then he came in with a silver platter in his hand with the belts on and fought the exact opposite to the way he should have fought.
And it's opposite. And it's almost impossible for me to believe, and I hate to say this, and I don't want to make excuses, but Joshua, there's no doubt in my mind, Joshua underestimated Andy Ruiz.
Joshua had lots of things on his mind. He had Deontay Wilder on his mind. He had, because that was the big talk, Deontay, when are you going to make? And he's getting blamed. It's his fault. Why is the Wilder fight not happened? And then he had big belly, big baby Jarrell Miller on his mind, being very insulted, and he wanted to crush him. He wanted to pulverize that guy. Then he had the disappointment of Big Belly Miller popping dirty, and then they just roped in. They looked for the best opponent, which was a bad idea on reflection. Tyson Fury wouldn't have looked for the best opponent. Deontay Wilder wouldn't have looked for the best opponent. They'd just say, well, who can we beat? Okay, get him in. Has he got an unbeaten record? Even better, get him in. They don't look for people who can give them the best fight. They look for people who they can beat. Joshua and his team showed their inexperience relative to the 60 years that represent Al Heyman and Shelley Finkel. That's 60 years of management or involvement. And then who manages? Oh yeah, and it's still Al Heyman. Al Heyman, PBC, for what's his name? Ruiz.
Ruiz, yeah.
All that experience teaches them. Don't look for the guy who's going to give you the best fight. Look for the guy that you can beat. But yet Joshua and Hearn, and I supported them, so I was wrong too. They looked for the best guy, and the best guy available was Ruiz. But he was too good. He was too good in that situation where they're not having the full camp for him focused on him. They're focused on another guy, but they're bringing in the best guy. That's bad management. On reflection, I'm culpable. I supported the idea. I pushed for Ruiz. I said, get Ruiz in. He's the best available guy. Dumb on reflection. Dumb on short notice. Fury wouldn't have done that. Wilder wouldn't have done that. They're not going to look for the best guy. They're looking for guys who look good on paper, maybe, or even maybe not. It's a paper thing, like Otto Wallen, undefeated. Get him in. Tom Schwartz, undefeated. Get him in. He's number two. He's number 2 in the WBO. We know those guys, low caliber, low hanging fruit. But Hearn showed his inexperience relative to Al Heyman and Shelley Finkel, and look for the best guy. That's inexperience. You don't look for the best guy when you're trying to break new ground. You're going over to new territories looking for the best guy. Wrong.
Well, let me ask you this: they were looking to do a fight with Luis Ortiz. He was offered money.
Luis Ortiz, yeah.
Would Joshua have underestimated Luis Ortiz? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so, because he was already on the radar.
I think he would have went into that fight with a different mentality. See,
Totally.
he was too happy-go-lucky going into this Ruiz fight, letting Ruiz hold the belts,
Ridiculous.
being overly cordial. Like I'm being honest. He didn't. I hate to say this, and I don't want to take anything away from Andy Ruiz. He fought a beautiful fight.
Yeah.
But it's impossible for me to not say that Anthony Joshua underestimated Ruiz and took him lightly.
He was in a totally wrong frame of mind. He was being friendly with him, patting him on the back, putting his arm around him, giving him a little hug, letting him hold in the belts. He was out in cuckoo land. It's like he didn't even think he was prepping for a fight.
He thought this was a sparring session, is what he thought. That's what he thought. I mean, I gotta be honest. And for me to think that he's gonna have that same mentality going into the rematch, I just can't envision it.
No.
So everyone's saying that Ruiz has Joshua's number. He's got, the bad style matchup.
That wasn't the real 100% real deal Joshua in that.
No, it was not. It really wasn't. Now, I have to say why Joshua should never have taken his eyes off the prize. He should have never have dropped the ball like that. But again, Lennox Lewis did it twice. Muhammad Ali did it against Leon Spinks. Like, fighters do it. Sugar Ray Robinson did it against Randy Turpin. He was a huge favorite against him. He thought that was going to be a friggin' walk in the park. And
he was on the European tour. He was fighting a different every 10 days. Was it 7 days or 10 days? He was going the nation.
I think he was like a 13-1 favorite against Randy Turpin, and he lost. And then in the second fight, he almost lost. He got cut so badly. The ref was on the verge of stopping it, and he landed a vicious left hook that bailed him out in a fight that he was behind in again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but Randy Turpin, I think it's like Randy Turpin was good though. It's just better than
expected. Yeah,
expected.
Well, he had to be better than expected because he was doing the job in the second fight too before he got knocked out. So we got to give credit. But
he did it right.
But once again, even the greatest of fighters, like even Muhammad Ali when he fought Joe Frazier the first time, he was kind of underestimating Frazier. He didn't really respect Frazier that much.
No.
And then the next two fights he fought differently. So for me to sit here and say that this is going to be a cakewalk for Ruiz, that Ruiz got Joshua's number, that this, that, and the third. I mean, I think this is a 50-50 fight, and I find myself going back and forth with it.
Yeah,
I really do.
I'm not even going to try and pick a winner in this one because
this is one that we're going to do a preview show on.
Yeah.
The week before the fight.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to make a pick. But up until that time, when I do make that pick, I'm sure I'm going to go back and forth. But that week before the fight, when I do make my pick, that's going to be my pick. I got to go on a limb and make the pick. But
I couldn't even make a pick.
I'm not going to feel comfortable. I'm not going to bet on the fight.
I'll bet on the fight.
What I may do is bet the over, depending upon what the over is.
I'll bet on both sides.
You know what I mean? I'll bet the over. But I don't know who I'm going to pick here to win. I'm going to be honest with you.
It's impossible to pick. I'm not gonna pick. I'm not really gonna pick again. I thought Joshua would edge it. I thought Joshua would finish. What did I say? I said Joshua would finish him in the later rounds. But even then, I wasn't. But
you did hold Ruiz in high regard right from the beginning.
100%. I said
even though you didn't pick him to win, I believe you said that you wouldn't be surprised if the fight went the distance too. I think
I bet on Ruiz winning over the distance. I didn't believe that would happen, but I put the bet on what I thought wouldn't happen. But I still thought that it was the outside possibility that
was that your hedge? Did you hedge that?
That was my hedge. That was my only bet. Because the obvious thing was Joshua was going to knock him out, and the odds weren't good. So I didn't bother with that bet. I just bet that Ruiz would win over the distance, over 12 rounds. Points victory to Ruiz. That's where I put my money. I thought Joshua would win, but it was not beyond the realms of possibility to me that Ruiz could win. So I bet on that. So I always held Ruiz in high regard, and I still do. as far as his boxing skills are concerned. I do not hold him in high regard with the way he's conducted himself over this thing. I do not. I do not.
That bothers you. You're really upset about that. I can tell.
I am very displeased. I think a contract's a contract. A deal is a deal. That's just me. A deal is a deal. I told you about the analogy of the car. I mean, I had a coat at one time. It was a nice coat, but then I got another coat, a winter coat, which was nicer. And then I was going to. I told the guy I would sell him my original coat, the one I didn't like so much, for a certain sum, a certain fee, a certain amount of money. I sat there and thought about it, and I thought, no, this isn't. I just wanted to get rid of the coat at the time, but I'm thinking about it now, and maybe I should have said more. Maybe I should have charged him more, because as soon as I said the figure, he jumped at it. I thought maybe I've underpriced the thing. And so I tried to hedge a little bit. I don't know if I'm selling anymore. And he said to me, Raph, you said you would sell me the coat at figure X. And with that, I said, you know what? I did say that. I'll bring the coat next week, and it is yours for figure X. A deal's a deal. A principle is a principle.
Yeah.
A word is a word. Whatever happened to a man's word being his bond? Whatever happened to a man's word being his bond? If I have a deal with you, I expect you to follow through, Beeb. That's just me. Is that just me? Am I the only person who feels that way?
Well, I just think in business you have to be a little shrewd. That's the way.
Even in business, you do handshake deals.
Yeah.
Even in business, you do handshake.
Well, I'm gonna give you some examples.
Yeah.
Look at some of the most powerful men in the world. Right, the richest men in the world.
Yeah.
They had to step on some people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Donald Trump. Look at what Donald Trump did in his lifetime.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right.
Right.
But sometimes, the world is just not a fair place.
No.
It's almost like people that say I took PEDs because I was concerned that other fighters were taking PEDs, and I just wanted to make the field more a level playing field for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So some of these guys are doing things preemptively.
Yeah.
Because of how they feel about the other side. You know what I mean? Does it make it right? I don't think boxing's ever going to be right. Now, should it be right? Should we want it to be right? I can't argue against people who I can't argue against your position, because in terms of ethics and in terms of just honor and morality and the whole nine, when you want to talk about that, I can't argue with that. But I've been watching this sport so long, and unfortunately, I just don't have high hopes for that for it when it comes to ethics, fairness.
Yeah.
So I'm so jaded by the sport that what's happening right now just doesn't faze me. Right. Now, is that a good thing? Probably not. But it's the real. I'm just giving you the real.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the real.
Yeah. But would you concur? Would you concur with my position that Ruiz is making this thing look ugly?
Yeah.
Ruiz it's making it look ugly.
It's not pretty right now. And the only thing he can do is do what he's doing now, and that's play the victim. Because if he doesn't play the victim, what other defense does he have? There's nothing else he could do but play the victim.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and again, I don't like the contract. I don't like it. My concern is if you continue to put forth contracts like that, it could be a deterrent and an obstacle for the big fights to get made, because people aren't going to sign those contracts.
Well, people are signing the contracts, though. People are signing the contracts.
Well, I'm talking about fighters that we want to see fight.
Right.
If you're gonna throw those contracts at guys like Fury, guys like Wilder, Dillian White, guys like Ruiz have no choice but to take those contracts.
Yeah.
So
and then renege on the back end.
But the thing is like it's almost as if these guys feel as though they're getting exploited because they're not in a strong position. So
exploit me for $9 million. Exploit me for $9 million. Exploit you for $9 million.
But it goes back to my old example that I used. Say you're a contractor.
Yeah.
And you generally do jobs for $300,000. You're doing $300,000 projects.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, someone calls you up and says, "You know what? I like your work. I'm going to give you a shot. I'm going to give you." And the job is a $15 million project, right?
Right.
Everyone else that has done that project before got $15 million.
Mm-hmm.
So then the guy says, "We're only going to give you 5.
Wow.
Because you never made 5 million before." But it's still a $15 million job. So my whole thing is this: when people say,
but who's
he never
getting
got,
though? He's not getting 5 million. He's not getting 5 million. He's getting.
no, but I'm just using an example. Say the guy, because the guy only made $300,000 in his life.
All right.
So he's asked to do a $15 million job.
Yeah.
So now you're going to pay him $5 million, which is substantially more than the 300,000.
Yeah.
But you're still screwing the guy. It's like this is what I used to tell people at work, because I used to mentor people at work my old job when I used to be a food service manager.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was the jobs, the food service manager's job, they were like they were good monies, like they were like $80,000 jobs, but they would take a young kid and promote him and say, you know what, we're going to throw 55,000 at you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they would say? They would say, "Oh, because you don't have the experience like the other guys do. That's why we're not giving you that."
Mm-hmm.
So I told one of the kids I was mentoring, if they ever say that to you, you know what you tell them? You ask them, "So let me ask you a question, sir. Because I don't have the experience of that other person, are the expectations of me any less,
Mm-hmm.
or are they equal?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, this is how I arm people that I take care of. I try to arm you. I try to give you the tools to go into battle when you need to go into battle. Just like if someone says, "Why are you getting so defensive?" My response to that is, the only reason why I'm getting, not in this case, but I'm just saying, whenever you're put in a position where you feel you're being attacked and you have to get defensive, whenever someone says to me when I'm being attacked, "Why are you getting so defensive?" My reply to them is, the only reason why I'm getting defensive is because I feel as though you're being offensive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to be offensive, I have to be defensive to defend myself.
Yes.
So that's the thing. Like, and this is why I'm pretty good at. I'm a good negotiator. I'm a good interviewer.
Mm-hmm.
I get jobs that I'm really not. That I get jobs basically a lot of times because I interview well.
Right.
I may not even have the best resume, but I just sell myself very well because that's what that's how I talk. Like, people say, well, one guy said to me, "You've never done this before, why should I hire you?" You know what I said to him? "Well, you called me up, so there must be something you see in me that you like, right? Something brought me here.
Yeah.
So let me explain to you what brought me here. Means that this is how you got to sell yourself." So I've never bought into the "you've never done this before," because there's a first time for everything.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, well, this guy never fought anybody." Okay, nobody ever fought anybody until they fought somebody.
For real.
So everybody needs that chance.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
And Ruiz got the golden chance, and now the impasse is here because the man appears to be making demand after demand, after demand after demand after demand.
Well,
and you have to wonder, you have to question: does he actually want to fight? Does he want to fight? It looks like he's trying to run the clock down.
Well, it's being reported that they're still negotiating. So if they're still negotiating, then Eddie Hearn may be working on something. He may be sweetening the deal right now as we speak. And if Eddie Hearn does sweeten the deal, and we have seen a history of Eddie Hearn sweetening deals. Every time they went back at Wilder, they did increase the money.
And that's a bad precedent in itself.
They started at 12, they went to 15, and then like a year later, it went all the way up to 40.
Yeah.
Now, even though my problem with that deal was, I don't like the fact, once again, that the rematch is already locked into 40, win, lose, or draw. I don't like that. And then people criticize, well, What if he signed? People criticize why didn't he sign that deal, but the same thing with Canelo. Canelo signed that deal. Golovkin signed their deal, and they were supposed to fight each other, and they still didn't fight each other. So the thing with that $100 million deal that I didn't like was there was nothing, to my knowledge, that was on paper that he was guaranteed those Joshua fights. That was basically in principle. That was basically assumed, just like it was assumed Canelo was going to fight Golovkin, but it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, if Joshua loses, right, now you're locked in, and people are sitting there saying, well, he's still guaranteed the $100 million. Not really, because what happened to Canelo when he fought Rocky Fielding? Everyone's like, oh, he signed a $365 million deal, right?
Yeah.
So when these guys, when people think that everything is locked into these contracts have stipulations in them. They have, Bob Arum said to me one time, because I was talking to him and I asked him when I interviewed him, I said, because the Elito Alvarez, he signed a $3 million deal with Arum. I guess he was guaranteed like a 7-figure purse.
Yeah.
But if he loses, the purse goes down, switches immensely. It goes down substantially, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I said to him, so I heard that deal changed now because he lost. He doesn't get. He goes, yeah. He goes. Isn't that customary? Isn't that what happens? He says when a guy loses, of course he's not going to make the same. So the thing is this: if Joshua lost, there's no way they were going to pay him $40 million to fight anyone else. So he would have lost out on the $40 million, because when Canelo Alvarez fought Rocky Fielding, he got $15 million. Now, he did sign a $365 million deal, but that doesn't mean he's getting – everyone assumed that he was getting that divided into 11 fights.
It don't make no sense.
So basically, DAZN will disperse that how they see fit according to opponents. So there will be incentives, and it will be based on certain figures. It's not just like of course. So that's
the Fury deal where people assume it's $100 million for a start. Bob Arum immediately countered that by saying, "Well, I don't know where you got that figure from."
Exactly.
So that's a media figure. For two, we can see that those numbers don't add up with these low-ranking fruit that he's fighting.
Yeah.
Those fights aren't generating 20 mils enough so he can get paid 20 mil per fight. Don't make no sense. He'd be lucky if he gets 5 to 10 mil for those fights. I don't even see how he could get 10 mil for those fights.
I would suspect he's probably getting in between $8 and $10 million for those fights.
That's at the high end. I would say that's at the high end.
Yeah.
That's high end to me. That's at the high end.
I could be way off there, but I'm guessing he's making at least $8 million for those fights.
Well, yeah. In that region is more realistic than the 20, because where's that 20 coming from?
Yeah, and the most disheartening thing about that whole thing was, I don't know if I talked to Eric about this, and I don't know if you saw this interview, but IFL TV was interviewing Shane Fury, Tyson Fury's brother.
Yeah.
And he was being asked about, is he going to fight this guy next? Is he going to fight that guy next? And he's saying, we're probably going to fight someone real easy, because why would Tyson fight someone hard given the amount of money he's getting to fight these guys? And he basically shot Tyson Fury in the foot with that statement. He basically let and again, I'm a gigantic Tyson Fury fan.
Yeah, I know that.
How can I not see this for what it is? I can't lie my way out of this one. I'm not going to lie my way out of this one because I like Tyson Fury. If his own brother let the cat out of the bag and disclosed the plan, how am I going to dispute that? I can't dispute that. There's no way I can dispute that if his own brother is admitting it, because I'm sure he talks to his brother periodically or very frequently.
He's always there when he's fighting. He's in his camp.
Yeah, he's always in the locker room. He's always as you said, he's always in the camp. So I'm sure he knows what's going on. Why would he lie?
It's tight in there. It's tight in there. He's locked in. That's his brother. So it goes back to what I said before. Fury wouldn't have done what Joshua did. Go to foreign territory and take a hard fight. Wilder wouldn't have done what Joshua did. Go to foreign territory and take a hard fight like that, the hardest fight they could get, when really, from a marketing perspective, what you're really trying to do is get a move around. get somebody to move around, and beat him. That's the name of the game. That's the objective. But like I said, the lack of experience with the international thing, it came back to haunt them, you know. And also, there's mitigating factors like Joshua had his mind on Wilder, then he had his mind on Miller. Then Miller dropped out, so now in comes this Ruiz guy who I never took lightly. I don't know how they took him lightly, but he did take him lightly.
I took him lightly. As much as I respected him, I didn't think he had a snowball's chance in hell of winning the fight.
Millions and millions of the majority of people took Ruiz lightly. I was in the vast minority of people I was concerned.
I called for I thought it was going to be a 6th round knockout for Joshua. That was my pick.
Yeah, I was concerned. I saw that style. I rated him. I rated Ruiz.
To be fair, I saw the videos. You did.
Yeah. I rated the guy as a boxer. I rated him then, and I rate him now. I like his style. I like that little short guy, even though he's not really short, but in comparison to a 6'6" guy, he's short. I like that fire plug style. To this day, I like his style. I'm still a fan of his boxing. My problem with him is not the boxing, it's what's going on now. And I think he has someone in his ear, the PBC, Way's got the PBC handbook. You know, somebody's telling him if it was just up to Ruiz, I mean, that guy would take the fight tomorrow. I think. But because there's somebody in his ear, there's higher forces, higher powers in the PBC ranks who like to get belts and keep them in-house, indisputable. Somebody in his ear, and they're just turning that guy into a fool for what they're saying. They're telling him he's getting ripped off, and so now he doesn't want to take the fight. Making it look over here, there's people saying he doesn't want the fight. Over this side, there's people saying he doesn't want the fight, and it's making him look bad. Whereas I think if it was up to him, he'd gladly take that $9 million. Gladly take that $9 million and be happy. But because there's people, if somebody's in your ear telling you you're getting ripped off, you're going to feel funny about it. You're going to feel like a punk. They're making him feel like a punk. And now he's dug his heels in. Now we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm just dying to see how this whole thing. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just so curious to see how this thing plays out, because I'm not 100% sure this fight's going to happen.
Well, that's the stage we're at. We don't even know if the damn fight's going to happen. We want it to happen. I personally wanted to see it live. I was denied that opportunity by was it Ruiz who denied me the opportunity, or was it his handlers, his PBC handlers, his superiors, the people he has to report to? Who denied me the opportunity? You Americans, you had the opportunity to go there. It's only fair that us Brits, us in the UK, we should have had the opportunity to see the fight live, just as you had the opportunity, and we've been denied.
Yeah, I can't argue against, but I mean, if I lived in the UK, I would want it to be in the UK too. I mean,
it would be only fair. You had it in the US from a US guy. We want to see it in the UK. There's particularly people who wanted to go there. I as soon as the tickets were released, I'd have been booked. It's a historic moment.
You would have went, huh?
Oh, damn. I mean, 1.5 hours drive. I mean, you know, that's nothing. You know, John Dealey would have chipped in half of the petrol. You know, maybe get a third guy in there. He could have got the food. You know, third guy in the back. You know, one guy on the roof rack. You know, I was there. I was almost there. I felt like I was there, and then it was denied to us. And feel terrible about that. But Beeb, you have been generous and kind with your time. I appreciate that. Do you have any final words to share with the people about this thing? Should we be hopeful, or should we just forget about it?
I'm gonna be honest. I have a hard time. I want to say I have a hard time seeing this fight not happening, but there's a part of me that isn't 100% sure.
I'm not sure.
And it's just crazy. I don't know what they're looking for. I just can't see Eddie Hearn taking this fight out of Saudi Arabia now.
No.
And changing the venue.
No.
And Ruiz has to know that's not. He has to know that's not going to happen. And he was on Joe Rogan. This is the problem. He was on Joe Rogan, telling Joe Rogan where the fight was going to be, and telling Joe Rogan, I'm going to give you tickets to this fight. So it seemed he was on board.
Yeah.
And someone told him, jump off that ship. We're taking a U-turn right now.
Yeah, somebody told him. I'm convinced
someone told him to do this. Someone is pulling the strings. It's not Ruiz. It's not Ruiz who's doing this. So I know there's a lot of heat going on Ruiz. And I understand why. And obviously, at the end of the day, he's got to own what he does.
Yeah.
Right? He's got to own this.
Yeah.
But this isn't him.
Is he feeling it? Is he feeling the heat? Is he feeling the heat? Because even in America, you have people now saying, yo, this is bullish. This is bullish on Ruiz's part.
Yeah, I mean, there's still enough people that do support him, but you would think it would be overwhelming, and it's not overwhelming.
No, we have access, internet access over here, and we know that even you Americans, there's a significant amount of Americans now who are saying, cut the crap.
Yeah.
Cut the crap, Ruiz.
Yeah.
The 9 mil's there for you. It's probably they're gonna put a cherry on top. Almost certainly, it's at least 12 mil now.
All you got to do is go on Kirk DeVille's videos and go on Ring IQ's videos, and I'm going to tell you, all the comments on those videos are not from the UK. There's some negative comments directed at Ruiz from Americans too. So
yeah,
there's enough there. There is enough people in America that are kind of pissed off because they really do want to see the rematch, regardless.
We want to see it, man. We want to see it, man.
I know. And I think people are starting to warm up to the Saudi thing. I know there's still some concern, but I think
we got no choice. Even I now have to say, well, okay, at least it's somewhere. Yeah. At least it's somewhere. It's not where it's supposed to be. It should have been the return leg, USA, then UK. Okay, we've been robbed and denied of that by Ruiz and his handlers. Okay, we have to accept reality. I haven't got the kind of money where I can just go splurging out to fly overseas. Well, I was gonna go and see Fury v Wilder because I had a very strong feeling that Wilder Fury was gonna spring the upset. I had a feeling, so I was gonna splurge out on that. £200 for the ticket, £200 for the ticket. But then I left it a bit, and then the hotel prices just rocketed. If I'd have bought it and the hotel at the time, I'd have been fine. But it seemed like every day you went on there, it was 20% more, 20% more, 20% more. Until it was just ridiculous.
What kills you is the travel and the lodging. That kills you.
The flights kept on going up by the day. The hotel prices kept on going up by the day. If I'd have done it on the first day I thought of it, I'd have been fine. And then in the end, the travel, the airplane fees, and the hotel fees rocketed out of control. So that's the only reason I wasn't at the Fury fight, because I had a strong feeling when I thought about it. I had a strong feeling, you know what? Fury can just stick out the jab and dance around and he could win this. I actually said that on the show over there.
I picked Fury.
Yeah. I thought he could spring that. So it's not that I wouldn't travel overseas. I mean, if I think about it now, I could have gone to my MSG, but I thought, well, worst comes to the worst, the rematch is going to be in the UK. So I thought, well, just hold on to your money, and the worst comes to the worst, you'll see it over here. And then, of course, that opportunity was denied. I haven't looked into Saudi, but I can imagine the prices are going to be extortionate, not necessarily for the ticket, but for the flight and the hotel. I don't know. I don't even know if I can rule it out still. There might be, if it's set, hey, who knows? Who knows? If my loyal people here in the chat want to chip in, we can still make it happen. Beeb, it has been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend it over here with us, talking to the UK direct. Much appreciated, and I'll be over on your side.
All right, brother. Thank you for having me, as always. It's a pleasure.
Much appreciated, Beeb. Thank you very much.
Have a great day, everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Peace out.
Very, very peace. So there we have it. It was nice of Beeb to come over here and spend some time, some of his day with us. What's the okay? I think, guys, anybody new in the chat, if you have enjoyed Beeb joining us. Please feel free to smash that like button. Hit that like button if you... Which way are we going with this? Which way are we going with this? Okay, we're coming over this side. Yeah, please feel free to smash that like button if you appreciated Beeb coming over here to spend some time with us. Okay. And I still didn't pick the scab. Still didn't get the chance to pick the scab. Maybe that's Providence. Maybe it was Providence that it disabled me from picking the scab. Maybe it was Providence. It was just time for me, give me more time to refine my thoughts. Get them sharpened, refined. Oh, we're going a bit too far over there. What's going on? Get the angles. We're looking at it's all about the angles. It's all about the angles. The angles look good now. The angles look good now. John Dealey says, Raph, let's go Saudi, bro. I never thought I would go, but talking to Beeb, I just all of a sudden I had the thought, I was going to travel for Fury. Why wouldn't I travel for AJ? This is a more momentous occasion than the occasion that I was going to spend that money on. I don't know, man. All of a sudden, the seed is in my mind. Why don't I go to Saudi? Why don't I go to... AD says, scratch that scab clean off. Man, I just started riding a bike again. I bought a new bike. The old bike was too heavy, push bike. And because the weather has been so nice over here, okay, we've had a few rainy days since the peak of the heat. But since the weather's been so good over here, I went out and invested in a lighter bike, a lighter push bike. The whole of 2018, I didn't ride my bike, which is disgraceful. I ride pretty much almost every year. Bought a lighter bike, and I think the back of my right calf is pretty much scraped up from the pedal when I come off on one foot, and I've just got the left foot on the pedal, and the right pedal's been hitting me the back of my right calf, so it's pretty scabbed up around there. But yeah, it's just giving me time to reflect and ponder and refine my thoughts on this topic of jealousy, which we didn't even cover. Did we cover it? Yeah, big up to the B. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Eddie says travel. John Dealey says Eddie says travel packages will be reasonable. I can't rule out Saudi. I doubt it. But I can't rule it out. I cannot rule it out. Red Glove Militant, let's get our spacesuits ready for the flight. Saudi's not too bad on flights, but who'd wanna book now with the uncertainty? It's the uncertainty. What happened to your neighbor, Rafi? Yeah, for those who don't know about my neighbor, she's been packing on that weight. It's not good. She's not American big. She hasn't got the cankles yet. You know the cankles? That's the ankle. That's the ankle fat. Yeah, she hasn't got the cankles yet. She hasn't got the cankles yet. She's not American big. Because I know you breed them big over there in America, but she's not American big, but she's big enough. Rue 504 says, great show, Rafi. Glad I found the channel. I'll be sure not to miss a show. That's great. Rue 504. That brings us back to TBV because somebody, I still haven't got to the bottom of it yet. Somebody mentioned that Raphael Dawkins had a show, at his own channel. And Rue, they mentioned it in the TBV chat. I don't know what the context was, but that enabled Rue 504 to come over and discover the channel. So whoever did that, I would like to know who did that because that was great. That was, I'm assuming, Rue, that you were on TBV when I used to call in or when I got the co-host position. So that was great. Raf, can she run for a bus? Certainly not. She most certainly cannot. That needs to be addressed. I assume US. If this goes to court, will it be in the UK or US? Well, I had a conversation over there with Beeb. I said it could be a UK court. Beeb believes it's US. I don't know. I think Eddie will have to do his due diligence and say, well, where can we win? Where are we most likely to win? I think I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not a fake lawyer. And I'm not a $550 an hour attorney or fake attorney. So I can't really speculate too much on that. But as a layperson, I can't help but feel that the person who is breaching the contract will be in the negative position. The person who breaches the contract will be in a negative position. And so I can't help but believe that Eddie Hearn or Matchroom will be in the stronger position. No, I didn't catch T Street earlier. I haven't been in the house. I woke up and, obviously did your things minus the breakfast, your morning things minus the breakfast, and I was out. So I've only just come back in. I ain't eaten nothing today yet. But I got a nice piece of spicy chicken waiting for me. The lady at Morrison's in the meat counter, she said, why don't you have these chips? They're reduced. They're just cooked, but they're reduced. We're going for 34p. Nice bag of chips, 2 portions. So, they're going to be cold, but they're nice and juicy because I squeezed them. So that means they're going to go under the grill nicely. Going to put that spicy mix that I have, sprinkle that over the chips, and going to fling those in the grill. Rule 504. If Lennox Lewis got a fair shake in the U.S. Supreme Court, then Hearn will most likely win. I believe so. I believe that Hearn is not breaching the contract. The other party, the PBC party, the Ruiz, is breaching the contract. Yes. K. the Django. Lewis got an injunction out on Ramen saying you cannot fight. The next fight will be with me. But Lewis, I believe, could fight. Yo, well, they're sponsoring me with a cheap chicken. They give me some cheap chicken. Yeah. I haven't had chips for the longest time. They threw in some chips as well. And I bought I bought a bigger tub of seasoning, spicy seasoning. So I just sprinkle that over pretty much whatever I'm cooking. Bang that in the grill. Let that seasoning soak in. And then boom. We got spicy chips as well as spicy chicken. Everything spicy. Lace Hatcher, how do you do? Smash that like button, folks. Let me go back into YouTube, see what the like situation's like. Okay, so didn't get to talk about what I was going to talk about, but instead we had Beeb on. That was great. Had a nice chat. Got to chop up the Ruiz situation. That was one of the things on this topic list. Let me see what else was on the topic list. Do I use text? Yeah, it's a kind of text mix. Well, it's a Caribbean. It's a spicy thing. Spicy flavoring. You can throw it on whatever you eat in meat. You can throw it on, meat, potato, whatever. Bang in the grill. Give it a chance to season in. Beautiful, nicely flavored. I'm not really a plain guy. I don't like plain things. Anybody in the chat who has not already done so, could you kindly listen to the whole moderators They are directing you to that thumbs up button. I'm also directing you to the subscribe button. Let me have a look at what the topics were, because we're coming to an end now. It's Saturday. Everybody's got to do their Saturday shizzle. I love cooking so much, Red Glove Militant, that I don't rule out doing a cooking section at some point. I don't rule it out. Cooking is one of my passions, my friend. Caribbean brand. Oh, I get you. This was an old brand. Used to go out with these. Oh, I got you. Yeah, this was an old brand. I just grabbed it off Morrison's. I normally buy the Dunn's River seasoning. Dunn's River from Jamaica. But in this instance, it's not big enough. It's a spare size, but I like to season almost everything I eat, so it runs out too quick. I wanted a bigger portion. Share this stream on Twitter. Yeah, Katie Django. Write a comment in the permanent comment section, and I'm gonna send you a friend request. And we need to talk about this Twitter thing, because people have been telling me about I should share it on Twitter, but I haven't talked to anybody about it. So just write a comment in the permanent comment section of the YouTube thing, and then I'm going to talk to you about that, because I need to start doing that. I need to start getting active on all forms of social media. I've already started in a sense, but I need to start kicking ass on different. Yeah, Dunn's River's good. I need to start kicking ass on all forms of social media. Yes, big ups, J.A. 100%. 100%. That's where I'm from. That's my heritage. So, yeah, make a comment. I'm going to send you a friend request, and I want to discuss this with you further. About sharing my shizzle in different areas. Anybody who knows about social. My family is from the west side of Jamaica, for real. My father is from Spanish Town, Kingston, and my mother from the countryside, St. Elizabeth. So there's some little info. My wife is from Kingston, for real. Yeah. When I go over there, I'm mainly in Spanish Town, which is just a stone's throw from Kingston. But I love the countryside, though. I love the countryside. Love to go to the country, St. Elizabeth. Plenty of greenery, lush, farmland. Love it over there. Probably love the countryside more than the city, if I'm perfectly frank. But it's all good. Yeah, so anybody who knows much about the social media thing, and I need to talk to you. So write something in the comment section, and we're gonna talk, because I need to get active with this, with the sharing my shizzle on different platforms. Okay, so I didn't scratch the scab. We talked about Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. The Dillian White thing we didn't touch, but that can keep. It's not perishable. What else was there? What other topics? Didn't even get that in there. Let me go elsewhere. What else was I going to talk about? Yeah, I can't even see that. I was going to talk about Lennox. I'm pretty sure I was going to talk about Lennox and Joshua. That will keep as well. That's not perishable. Everybody must know that I've done a video on that. That's pretty comprehensive. It's 14 minutes and 48 seconds. Feel free to go over there and get your fill in that video. I think you know how to get to the videos, don't you? You just click on, I think you can click on the face, click on my face and the emblem, the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio under any video, boom. That will take you to my channel page, and then you go into the videos. I can't assume everybody knows everything. Have I got Twitter accounts? I do have a Twitter account. Which I don't think I've ever used, but I have the information in the code, passwords, etc. So yeah, I do have a Twitter account. For real. Okay, guys. So this is Raphael Dawkins. It has been a good one. I think this is going to be the new timing for the Saturday streaming, because I need to do my Saturday thing. Even though it's my day off, I still got things to do. So this is going to be the new time, and it's going to be like around 5 p.m. 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m., something like that. But I'll be posting up the page, advertising the program, the show, so you'll get to see it. Okay, so it's the Subscriller. It's the Subscriller. It's the K the Django. It's the Rue 504. He has subscribed and he's here. It's the Red Glove Militant. How do you do? How do you do? Well, we're scrolling up. We're scrolling on. John Dealey. Thank you. And a Red Glove Militant. Have we got any other hall monitors in here? Do we have any other hall monitors in here? I think I saw. Who did I see? I think I saw another hall monitor earlier on. It's the Shola Ibofin. Morrison special offer. I get a lot of special offers in Morrison's. It's like my local shop. I'm in there so often. In there almost like once a day. Okay. It is many and many, many more. AD. I'm going to scratch off the scab in another show. Probably the Philosopher's Hour. The next Philosopher's Hour, that scab may be scratched. The truth may be exposed. The jealousy may be exposed. And I think I got some evidence and receipts. I think I got some stats which show the jealousy. It's not coming from mind, I assure you. And that would be easy to establish. That would be very easy to establish. So, it's Tommy Temper, Red Glove Militant, Subscriller, John Dealey, Rue 504, Get This Smoke, and many, many more. AD, K the Django, Shola Ibofin. What's that? Jace Cavo, Jace, and many, 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 many more. Okay, so this was the Philosopher's Hour 3 on Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. It's been a good one. Lace Hatcher. It's been a good one, folks. Glad you could spend some of your Saturday with me. Now go ahead wherever in the world you are and enjoy the rest of your afternoon, your morning, or in our case, our evening. It's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio, and I'm out. Blessed. And special thanks to Beeb. Almost forgot. Special thanks to Beeb. And we are out.